Okay, lesson 36. So we're going to be multiplying these. Now the thing is, if we just multiply them out, then we won't be able to see if there's anything we can reduce. So we want to put it in factored form. Okay, what does that mean? Well, the factored form of x times x, of x squared is x times x, right? The factored form of this one right here, though, so let's see, that is a trinomial. So you do x and x. You have to think of what do you multiply together to get a negative 32. But when you add them together, you get a positive 4. It's positive 8 and negative 4. Okay? Now that one's okay, but that one, you have a common factor. So factor out the common factor. So what do I have now? Now I have x squared times x plus 8 times x minus 4 in the numerator. In the denominator, I have x minus 4 times x plus 1. So what I want to do is I want to leave it like that because now I can see that I have factors that will reduce. So those cancel. One of the x's cancels, right? Like that an x. And then we end up with x times x plus 8 over x plus 1. Even though it says multiply, you've got to first reduce. So on this one, you're going to have to factor every one of these. Okay? So this one becomes x and x. And then, let's see, what are you going to have? It's going to be negative 2 and negative 4. That gives you a positive 8 when you multiply, a negative 6 when you add. This one, it's going to be a negative 6 and a negative 4. Gives you a positive 24 when you multiply, a negative 10 when you add. This is multiplication, so I'm just going to write it all together here. So x and x. This one's going to be negative 9 and negative 6. Gives you a positive 54 when you multiply, negative 15 when you add. This one's going to be positive 8 and negative 2. Gives you a negative 16 when you multiply, a positive 6 when you add. Now I'm going to look for anything that will reduce. Those obviously reduce, right? That cancels that one. This one cancels this one. And I'm left with x minus 9 over x plus 8. Cool, right? All that mess. And we cleaned it all up. Okay, now when it's division, then we have to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to do the little factoring thing here because I think it might be a little less confusing in just a minute. So we do x and x, and it's going to be a 3 and a 2. And x and x, it's going to be, a 6 and a 2. This one is going to be x and x. It's going to be a 9 and a 4. This one is going to be x and x, and it's going to be a 9 and a 6. Now, remember though, this part is being divided into that part, right? Not that 3. 3 goes here. Okay. So I'm going to take the first one, x plus 3 times x plus 2 over x plus 6 over x plus 2. Now this whole thing is being divided by all of this. That means I'm going to multiply it by the reciprocal of this one. So x plus 9 times x plus 6 over x plus 9 times x plus 4. And then I'm going to see what I can reduce. Well, I could have reduced those actually ahead of time, right? Okay, those reduce, that reduces, and I end up with x plus 3 over x plus 4. That's my answer. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. This one's a little bit different. This first part starts off just the same. I've got x and x, and I'm going to use 6 and 4. On the bottom, though, I have a common factor. So let's go ahead and factor it out. Okay. Then I'm going to do my trinomial factoring looking at this one. So it's going to be x minus 9 and x minus 3. Then this is divided by this stuff, right? So this one here, I've got to flip. So I'm going to put what's on top on the bottom. And what's on the bottom, I'm going to put on the top. But this one, I can factor an x out. Now I sort of skipped a step there. I skipped this step here. And I went straight over to this one. So just go back and listen to that again if that's confusing to you. Okay, let's see what we can cancel. That one cancels that cancels that, and I get x plus 4 over x minus 3. Okay? Hopefully that's helpful.